also learning more about what those agents are hoping to get from Catherine Russell. Eyewitness News reporter Marilyn begins our in-depth coverage tonight from the mobile newsroom. Marilyn.
Catherine, I've been told there are two levels to the investigation into the Boston bombing. One is the criminal investigation. The other aspect is, of course, national security. Now, federal investigators continue to focus on whom may have aided the suspects, and they're seeking the cooperation of the widow of one of them. What exactly did the widow of the suspected Boston bomber know before and after the bombing? It's a question investigators are probing, and according to the Associated Press, federal agents are keeping tabs on Catherine Russell with open surveillance of her parents' North Kingstown home and her every move.
It appears as though they are going to continue to follow her every move. I'm sure that concurrently they're investigating every bit of communication that transpired during the time of the bombing, or prior to the time of the bombing, at the time of the bombing, and after.
J. David Smith, a former police chief for 29 years and now director of the Administration of Justice and Homeland Security graduate program at Salve Regina University, says investigators need to develop evidence to prove their case beyond a reasonable doubt. Russell's attorney has said his client knew nothing of the bombing plot that killed 3 and injured more than 200 people on April 15th. The Washington Post reports investigators seized Russell's laptop computer and discovered searches of bomb instructions from the terrorist publication Inspire. Former U.S. Attorney Robert Corrente spoke with Eyewitness News about the case and says officials are putting pressure on Russell, but he says investigators need to determine if spousal privilege applies and if her conversations or exchanges with her husband were in Rhode Island or Massachusetts. He says, if I were the prosecutor, I would argue once he's deceased, her spousal immunity goes to the grave with her husband.
Most people reasonably expect that she did recognize the images on television, and it is a question as to why it wasn't reported. But then again, we don't know what she said and to whom.
Now, Smith said federal investigators most likely will use cyber technology and other means to identify every link that directly or indirectly relates back to the 2 bombing suspects. Reporting live with the South County Mobile Newsroom, Marilyn Shera, Eyewitness News.